Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all doing well. In today's video we'll be talking about the fingerfishers and their later form, the sail people. So the sail people, a variety of future human from all tomorrows, seem to be one of the more overlooked species, not mentioned very often, with a lot of attention instead being given to, for example, the snake people, the killer folk, and the big bads like the gravital and the Q. The poor old sail people rarely get a mention, however, and this is quite strange in a way because the sail people are an extremely interesting species for a number of reasons. They're not quite aquatic like the tall breeders, and they're not quite aerial either like the pterosapiens, even though they spend much of their time operating in waterways and also having wings. The sail people, instead, glide along the surfaces of water bodies, snatching up fish with their long, demonic-looking tongues, which also act as their hands. Their actual hands are now their wings, which before that bore long hooked fingers which were used to pluck fish out of streams and rivers, back when they were a form known as the fingerfishers. The sail people are pretty scary, to be perfectly honest, and with their elongated crocodilian snouts, long flickering tongues used as hands, and pterodactylian wings, they look to me like some sort of water demon. And in the caption below the image of the sail people that we're provided with, it states that these people are extremely violent by nature, definitely not a species that I'd want to mess with. But this declaration of the sailors being extremely violent is interesting because their ancestors, the fingerfishers, were so peaceful. Their lives consisted of very little apart from milling about and catching fish with their hooked fingers. Yes, fishing is a form of hunting, but it's not terribly bloody or dangerous. It's quite intriguing that a species that had such a chilled out existence before would evolve into something that has to resort to savage hunting campaigns in its more so-called civilized form millions of years later to quell its bloodthirst. It's almost the exact opposite of every other species which started off savage and violent but becomes more peaceful later on. The sail people started off peaceful but acquired a bloodlust. But why? I suppose it could be explained by the usual evolutionary process of survival of the fittest, with the most willing to fight and kill being the most likely to survive and breed. But why would the fingerfishers have any need to do this? They ate fish. Why kill each other? Maybe at some point the fish species on their world became endangered. The waters of their world could have been overfished, and so competition over food became more fierce, necessitating the need for the fingerfishers to begin fighting amongst themselves to acquire food. Or maybe this didn't happen, and their eventual turn towards a violent lifestyle is a result of them being based on human beings. Humans, it seems, can't really help but be a violent species, even when there's not really any need for it. In the book, it does state that many of the fingerfishers' descendants became other forms significantly different to the sail people, and we're even provided with a glimpse of one of these forms in the illustration, showing what is described as a distant cousin of the sail people. Whether this distant cousin of theirs is sapient with human-level intelligence or not is unknown. It does show, however, that they would have had to contend with other beings that actually had the power of flight at some point in their history. So maybe the fingerfishers never had to compete amongst themselves, but had to compete with a divergent form related to themselves, but now different enough to be considered a separate species, hence the once peaceful fishers adopting a more brutal and violent lifestyle. But what do you guys think? I want to read your thoughts on why the fingerfishers left their peaceful ways behind and became the ferocious sail people. Anyway, as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe. This has been Beware the Q, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.